Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? Wow, is the camera that out? Or did I move? Did I move the camera? I can't remember if I moved the camera. One second. Here, I am live. Blah, blah, blah. There we go. Cool. I think we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Are we good? We're good. Are you good? I'm good. Are you good? Hopefully we're good. Did I hit go live on YouTube? Yes, I did. We're good. A medical update on the noggin. Where is it? It's in there somewhere. Where is it? You can see it kind of. It's hard because I'm looking at the camera. It's mirrored. But I got about that long. It's right about there, yeah. My name is Taylor. It is January 17th, and I am at home. How's the head? It actually hurt. Sunday, my head hurt. But I took a tempered glass bamboo to the noggin, so is what it is. Move the camera last stream. Yeah. I'm kind of tempted to redo my setup. Like I like this angle. The problem is if I'm standing here, I'm like this. Like I got the two-face going on because you're missing half my face. It's good when I'm working, but then when I'm working, only half the screen's used. I gotta figure out a setup that gives me more screen real estate. I don't know. I'll figure something out. So how's everyone doing today? So today we're finally doing not this. I gotta get rid of this. Why is this still out? Because my room's a mess. That's why. You can go over there. You can go here for now. And if I can get enough leverage, I'll get you up and put you on the table. There we go. So we're doing Voron tap finally. I've never used Voron tap. I've got a kit here. I've got a bunch of printed parts. We've got a V2 that we're gonna install this in. We're just gonna go. We go as far as we go. We get as far as we get. Whatever happens, happens. More cameras. Can I do another camera? I've got this camera. I got the overhead camera. I got the mobile camera. I think I can technically do one more camera with this setup. The problem is I'm capped out with USB because you basically can only have with the cam links, you got to have them on separate USB hubs or they get finicky, and I already have an add-on board. So what board am I using? So I am using the board that comes with the LDO kit, which is the V2.1. For those who are unaware, the V2.1 revision of the board has an issue. The issue is I don't know where the board is. There it is. Depending, I don't know all the scenario. It's probably all on the Discord by now, and people smarter than me have figured it out. There is a chance that when you boot up your printer, there's like a voltage spike to this thing that can pop something. As far as I'm aware, everything that can go pop is on this board. So there's no risk of damaging your main board. So you're, in my case, a spider here. So don't quote me on that. So I've bench tested this. I plugged it into a 5 volt or 24 volt power supply and it worked. So I'm just gonna YOLO it. If it breaks, it breaks. It is what it is. Unfortunately, that's the thing when you're developing open source projects with, you know, limited resources and whatnot. You when you do stuff in testing and it works just fine, doesn't mean it's going to work fine when you push it to a few hundred people. So it's an LDO board. This is an LDO kit. I'm using a kit from LDO to build this. Who does QC on these things? The people designing it. We have some people on the team with some PCB experience. But again, contrary to what some people think, Voron is not a company, and we do things to the best of our abilities, but it's people just designing stuff for fun. So sometimes stuff slips through the cracks. It is what it is. So we've told all the vendors to stop selling them. All have, except for Physec. They just don't seem to care. But yeah, waiting on the new revision. You can modify the PCB to make it 5-volt compliant, which apparently is safer. And you can also put a resistor in or put a resistor on the power line, I believe, as kind of a band-aid fix to get it working. But yeah, that's that. So when it's FISA, oh, they don't care. Exactly. Why would they care? Okay. I have a bunch of resistors. I've got 2 of the boards. The plan is just to go YOLO. If the board pops, I'll try the resistor on the second board. That's what we're gonna do, I think. Because I bench tested it and it seemed okay. So I'm not too worried. Because it never showed up during testing. So it's kind of like a weird, like, how did this not get caught type thing? Because we tested it. People were running these boards for testing for weeks and no issue. And then all of a sudden it goes to production and then it's like, okay, some people's boards are popping. What's going on here? So it is what it is. Cannot be checked. No, what it is apparently, let me pull it up on the Voron Discord here. It's not a multimeter thing. It's not a multimeter thing. Let's see here. Tap troubleshooting, pinned messages. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Okay. So here it is, currently tracking affects all 24-volt compatible is uncontrolled short on the failed resistor. Can't recognize a 5-volt either. So basically it's an inrush voltage spike. So basically when you power it up, there's a chance that it could just get more voltage. It jumps up to, like, what is that, 36 volts instead of 24 volts. It's just like an inrush voltage spike, whatever that means. I am not an EE. I am not an electrical engineer. They say it goes sparky spark, it goes sparky spark. That's my thing. So in the meantime, you can put a, what is it? A resistor? What size resistor? I have a bunch of resistors. I might just put a resistor there. A 2.2 ohm resistor. So you put a 2.2 ohm resistor on the line and on the power line, and that kind of prevents it from going sparky spark. So I might just do that. So it is what it is. Like, and this is happening even if you have a 24-volt power supply. There's like a transient voltage spike. Abacus. I don't know. I'm not an electrical engineer by any means. I don't claim to be. I mean, hell, I don't claim to be an engineer at all, contrary to what some people think I say I do. So yeah. So here's the thing. I tested this by plugging it into a 24-volt power supply and just turning on the 24-volt power supply, and it worked. It functioned normally. So I'm assuming we're going to be okay. And if not, well, then we're not. So Steve had no issues with his. Did Steve use a 24-volt one, or did he use the regular one? I don't know. Manual. Yeah, it really depends on that's the thing too. Like, okay, in here, you know, let's see what we're working with under the hood on this machine, other than a mess. Okay, so I've got a Meanwell LRS 24-volt power supply, Omron. I've got a Spider controller board. I've got the fancy inlet. Like, I've got everything on here in terms of like spec. This is over spec. So everything here should be clean. Like, I'm not running no generic, you know, King Room power supply or whatever that some people, that's the problem with an open source project. you don't know what people are running in their builds. Like, yeah, the spec is a mean well power supply with, you know, a fused inlet, but you have no idea what little Timmy used in his build. Like, I've seen people wire up their Vorons with literally 16 gauge white single strand wire pulled from the wall. Okay, the amount when people say I go a little crazy on safety when, oh no, a thermal runaway might have an issue. I've seen things that you wouldn't believe when it comes to how people build their printers. How do I say this nicely? There's a lowest common denominator you have to take into account with things. The amount of things that you wouldn't think would be an issue, or people wouldn't, you know, skip over, or like, you would be surprised how many people wire up a control board directly to mains, for example. You would be surprised how often people do unsafe things because they just didn't know. They don't know. They just, I got this, I'm good. Wire goes to wire. So when it's an open source project, you kind of have to assume the worst a lot of the time. Yeah. Yeah, the single strand wire is back in the 2.1 days. That was a while ago. I'll play with 24. Oh, isn't it all about amps? I've modded the Creality groups on Facebook for 4 years. I know exactly what you, oh yeah. 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 Yep. You would be surprised. You would be surprised at what some people and I don't fault people. Some people just don't know. Some people just don't know, or they're working to the best of their knowledge, and the best of their knowledge is lacking stuff. So it just kind of, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so let's get this show on the road. So first off, as always, every stream we give away a spool of filament from Polymaker. Link in the description. Go enter for that draw. We do that draw at the end of the live stream. And also, if you want to help support the channel, content I create, things I do, I've got links in the description as well. Try to solder AC mains bed and be cheap. Oh yeah, you'd be surprised what some people think is acceptable. Okay. So this is all the people who helped work on Voron Tap. As you can see, my name is not on here. I'm going into this legit blind. I don't know any. I bought parts for Voron Tap back when it used clicky switches, and it used the tool head didn't have a rail, like Rev 1 Voron Tap. I think this is like Rev 50. So I'm going into this blind. I wasn't involved with the testing and development of this at all. I just, unfortunately, with the YouTube thing and family stuff, I just don't have the time to dive into testing random stuff as much as I used to. Also, my machines are prominent display. It was a pain in the butt hiding the Revo and Stealth Burner for as long as I did last year. So, yep, I'm not on here, and I'm learning as you go. Ultrano, $5. Cheers. I think that's Swedish. Cheers, I think. So yeah, so these are all the people that helped. Okay, so printing part guidelines. You print all your parts. I got the parts here. You print them like you would normal Voron parts. What I end up doing with the Delta? Oh, it's sitting on the ground right there. We're gonna get back to that. The Delta is gonna be an ongoing project, kind of. And okay, I did go and finally watch Teaching Tech's video, and I'm kind of doing what he did. I didn't plan on it because I didn't watch his video, but he did a video where he like made the Delta mobile, and I'm kind of doing the same thing, but I'm going about it differently. I'm making it more a universal machine than just kind of like put some batteries in it. But we'll see. I got to make stuff different because I don't want to copy them. So convergent design, put it that way, convergent design. Yeah, like, don't feel like you're being pushed in the tap. Remember, oh no, I ran this toasty $3 Zong probe for 3 years without an issue. Like, if your setup works, then you don't have to go to tap. You don't. It's an optional upgrade. It's something just for fun if you want to do. And yeah, guess what? This still worked just fine. I was still getting first layers. I printed all the parts for this, no issue. Okay, so here's your assembly manual. You take all your parts, you go, and you're done, okay? So there's quite a lot of little finicky parts to this setup. So assembly manual, we need to write an assembly manual, and it's done. There you go. That's all you need really. But just in case, read through this document carefully. So what is TAP? So a lot of people don't know what TAP is. Can't Google. So TAP is a nozzle-based Z probe for the V2 and Trident printer designs. The entire tool head moves to trigger an optical switch. TAP offers many advantages over Z probes. Here for a few examples. So extreme precision. TAP in a well-constructed printer, you'll be able to measure your Z position reliably to a precision of 0.0004 millimeters. Okay, this precision will help you better use and maintain your printer. You know, better first layers. Printer can't print good first layers. What's the point? You can use any bed surface because you are tapping off the bed surface itself. You can just swap flex plates, it don't matter. You could put on a sheet of carbon fiber, it don't matter. You could put a granite slab as your bed. Just throw it in there, it'll just work off of it. You could print an entire sheet on your bed and then probably use that as your bed for another print if it doesn't deform. So you're tapping off the bed surface, so it has advantages because you're actually tapping off the bed surface itself. It's high temperature. The reason it's an optical sensor versus a clicky switch. Clicky switches use springs. Springs will behave differently at different temperatures. An optical sensor, don't care. Beam is broken, it triggers. So clicky switches will be susceptible to temperature changes. Optical is not. It will stay the same. Okay, tap sensor is rated to operate at 70C to 100C and will not degrade over time compared to a contact switch or inductive probe. So you don't have to worry about temperature drift at all anymore. Okay, you don't have to worry about that. So it's been tested in that environment. Yeah. So Doc ran like PIF kits for a while, or I can't remember, was it Doc or somebody else? But yeah, hundreds of hours, thousands of hours were developed on this. No macros or no complicated macros. It's one thing. It's one single Z switch. No more clicky switch for your Z. So I'm still running the old rice cooker switch from V2.0 days right here. And I'm finally retiring this thing. Finally retiring it, okay? And crash protection. With TAP installed, the nozzle will better protect from minor crashes, such as doing an accidental like Z negative China, because it will, well, it'll tap, but in extreme crashes, TAP can break away completely, saving your hidden heat break in your printer. So basically, it's designed with like a fail-safe. So if you crash it hard, it breaks cleanly, and then you just print some new parts and you put it back together and you're good to go, versus you breaking your hot end. So it's if you do crash it hard enough, it'll break in a known way with a printed part that you can just replace, versus destroying, you know, your Revo or your Rapido or whatever hot end you're running in there. So yes, it is designed for the front to fall off. Okay, important warning, special warning on Y position. TAP is 3 millimeters thicker than a stock 2.4 R2 and Trident X carriage. Just place it closer to your doors. Make sure you have clearance. You may need to adjust your bed position. Okay, so she got a little bit of cake added. It is heavier for all you gram chasers. It is heavier if you care about that. I don't. You do you. You need to have an MGM12 carriage. The reason I spent 2 streams updating this is because I had dual MGN9. You have to have an MGM12 carriage. You have to be running Clockwork 2 or one of the newer extruder mounts that mount from the front. So you need a CW2 style extruder. Your bed must be secured because it takes anywhere. Yeah, what is it? 500 to 800 grams of pressure to activate. So that means until you hit that point, your hot end is rigid. So people are like, oh, it flops around. It don't. Okay, until you hit that 500 grams of activation pressure minimum, your tool head is locked in place. It ain't moving, okay? So if you're putting more force on your tool head than 500 grams during normal printing operations, then you're going to run into an issue. But in the Z axis, you're not Z hopping that fast. So it's rigid, and it takes that much force, which means it won't work on a switch wire. It can't work on a bed that's cantilevered. You need a rigid bed, V2 or Trident. Okay. And it is the fun part. Tap is more precise than previous Z system. We found this can reveal previously unnoticed problems in your printer. If your printer has a known mechanical issue, such as cracked components, fix them before attempting tap. So VFAs are an issue that kind of plague good printers, if you notice, right? The vertical fine artifacts, right? Even the Bamboo, the almighty Bamboo, the best printer in the world. Yeah, you get mad VFAs on this son of a bitch, okay? It's guess what? It's faster, but it doesn't print any better than any other printer. That's good. So what are VFAs? Well, guess what? On your shitty printers, usually VFAs are hidden by other problems with the printer. But once you start getting to a good printer, VFAs become more noticeable because the stuff that would hide it, like crappy extruders and whatnot, aren't as present. So that's a symptom of having a better machine. Tap will tell you if you got mechanical issues with your printer because it won't work that good because it's so accurate. Stuff that normally won't be an issue will be an issue with Tap. So make sure your printer is built well. Echo 2 Papa 2, $5. Cheers. Tap is an advanced level product. Beginners should avoid this. Yes. Turn down the music a bit. Is it too loud? Okay. There we go. So should you do this right from the start of your Voron build? If you've never built a printer before, or if this seems any way complicated, don't. Go right to the bed probe. Go to your normal probe, okay? Because you can modify this in. Just run, it uses 3 wires, so you don't need to redo your wire harness. You just got to rebuild your tool head if you want to swap this in later, if you're building a stock 2.4 R2. So build it stock, and then if you want to do this later, do it, because the new boards and whatnot should be updated by then. I've already adjusted the 24 volt. It's not a controversy. Oh my god, drama, everything's drama. There's an issue with the PCB, they're fixing it. They're working on an updated design. Hold off or do the quick fix in the meantime. Okay, so how does this thing work? Tool head on a rail. With Tap, the entire tool head, including the extruder, can move up in the Z direction on a short MGN9 rail with MGN carriage. In normal printing operation, this tool head is held in place by a pair of magnets acting on a pair of screws. During probing, the tool head lifts up slightly, activating a photo interrupter switch concealed in the mechanism. Okay, so you have a rail that moves in the Z. You have your stuff mounted to it, and then you have magnets holding it in place with magnets. Insane Clown Posse would be so confused right now. So there's that. There's the bomb and everything, and there's a photo switch there. So there's science to this. Okay. So it's all locked in position until it's not, okay? So you're replacing your whole X carriage. It's a whole different mounting system. Sensor options. You can use I think you can use you can use a mechanical switch if you really wanted to, but we're trying to avoid mechanical switches because they're susceptible to temp changes. So if you want to do a wired up sensor without the PCB, there are ways to do this right now currently that are still safe, okay? So you got to print these 4 parts and then print one of these upper sections. I printed all of them because I didn't know. I just printed them all. So whatever one I end up using, I'll use. And there we go. There's your bomb. There's that. And there's all your tools. Printed cut guide if you have to cut your MGN9 yourself. Oh, well, I printed this. I guess I don't need it. Soldering iron, angle grinder if you got to cut down a rail. Yeah. So that is basically the forward. So now I guess we start building. Do I have everything I need? Yes. So you can use a D2H. What is that switch anyways? I might have one of those. Let me see. What is that switch? I might have one of these. Let me check. I want to do the proper one. I want to do the clicky switch. or the optical switch. So we're gonna go with that, but I don't even know where half my stuff is anymore. I'm moving stuff around looking. Yeah, whatever. We're gonna run it stock. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. So let's see what we got here. So I've got all the printed parts. This is also for the tool head that we gotta build. So this is an LDO kit. So shout out to Jason. We've got our rail. We've got our probe, our switch, which I am gonna roll the dice and hope it works. I do have a resistor. I think I have resistors I could put in line to make it safe, but yeah. On the rat rig, I actually got to email them. I don't like emailing people on the weekend, and I forgot to do it yesterday, so I got to email them today. I just don't like email people on weekends. It's the weekend. So we got a bunch of screws and a bunch of hardware and whatnot. So this is everything we need for tap. Why so huge a rail? It's not that huge. That's what she said. Basically, you need something big enough that you can mount your whole tool head to, and it still be rigid enough to support the tool head. So you can't really use like an MGN 12 or an MGM 7 or anything. We tried. As far as I remember, they tried MGN 7 and it didn't work. MGN 7 didn't work. So they had to go to something bigger, which was MGN 9H. Plus, it's for those that don't know, that Voron works with the tool chest. Okay, when it comes to designing stuff for Vorons, we have a BOM that we use. So if you look at all Vorons, they all use the same parts. MGN 9H rails are part of that. So these are the same rails that you have on here. So if you upgraded your gantry from a 2.4 to a 2.4 R2, you replace two MGN 9 rails with an MGN 12. So this is something you have on hand. Everything in Vorons is designed to use the same spec components. We try to avoid one-off components. So let's just use an MGN 9. It works, and people have them. Some of them do. It depends if you're part of the Voron ecosystem for a while now. So that's basically it. It's reusing stuff that you may already have on hand, instead of having one single part that's only used in one use case. So, okay, so first step, carefully remove the carriage. Do this over a bowl or other container just in case the balls drop out. Where's my mouse? There it is. If you do, don't panic. They can be pushed back in. Just add the balls to the carriage. So the MGN 9 assembly tool. Fit the tool over the bearings on one side, squeeze the tool, and rotate to fit into place. Okay. This tool serves to guide the balls in. Okay. There we go. So we have this little doohickey here. Okay. So what you do is, this actually came, the LGO kit comes with these itty bitty grabbers. Come with these little grippers. And we need to slide this onto here. There we go. So that is step one. And everything's like oiled. So there we go. So we got that on there. Okay, so we got to cut this. This is already cut to size, so we don't have to worry about cutting it. If you did have to cut this, there is a cutting guide that you print, and then you put this over your rail, and it goes into the two holes, because the holes have to be in certain spots. It's not that it has to be a certain length rail. It has to be a certain length rail with the holes in the right spot. So what you would do is, if you're cutting a rail from scratch, you would put this printed guide on, okay, and then you chop off right at the ends, okay? So that's, if you had to make this rail yourself, what you would do. You would just, if this was a long rail, you put this in two holes, because it's a little guide, and you go chop, chop, and you're done. Easy peasy. Is it good oil? I don't know. It's oil you're going to replace with grease. I don't like oil when it comes to lube on these things. It wears out too quick. Deburr after cutting. There we go. Okay, so we got to remove some supports. So let me see here. So I believe I've already removed all these supports. Yeah. So there was supports on these parts. I've already gone ahead and removed them, I believe. And I was bad. I'm using the same color for everything. I'm using purple for everything. So we got this part. There was support here I already removed. This had support right here and right here. I've already removed, and we're going with that one. So this already, yeah, that's done. Neat. Approve of the purple. It should work pretty good. I ended up reprinting the parts I needed because I'm reusing the front face, the resin front face. So that should be, focus on that. There we go. Yeah. I like it. This is Sparta 3D. Galaxy Purple Mist, I believe. Okay, so 2 magnets with a drop of RTV or super glue. Okay, I'm going to use E6000 because I have that. I do have super glue too. So let's see here. So these go right here. Why do these look different? Oh, one's got 2 nubbins, one's got, okay. Okay, so where are my magnets? We got our magnets here. Our MGN, yes, rails are hardened. These rails always should be hardened. You should assume they're hardened because they machine them, they harden them, then they grind them to spec. That's how you assemble these properly, or that's how you make rails properly. Okay, so yes, you do specific super glue. You could also use RTV just to drop. That's all you need. Basically, you need to put the magnets in here and hope they don't come out. So put a little drop of super glue. Polarity doesn't matter. Place a dot of glue on top of the magnet. Place magnet holder on magnet. Use strong flat tool, permanently press. Do this for the left and right holders. Alternatively, you can use channel lock, pliers, or vise. Basically, you need to make sure that this is sitting down in the pocket. Okay, it's got to be in the pocket for this to work right. So what I'm going to do, super glue. Where are you? Am I missing it already? Aha! Ha! There we go. There you go. Okay, so we got that done. Those shouldn't go anywhere. Cool. Again, polarity doesn't matter. Polarity doesn't matter. Actually, let me turn on live chat. Live chat, there we go. Okay, so that is that. Heat inserts, okay. So, we need to put some heat sets in here. If you don't know how to use heat sets, oh look, you click this button and it brings out a video by some dude here about how to do heat sets. But first there's an ad. You know I have uBlock on here. It shows an ad. Now I gotta scroll all the way back down. Okay, so I gotta put some heat sets in here. where's my iron? Go over setting 0, 0. What do you mean 0, 0? So now we gotta let that heat up. Where are the heat sets? How many heat sets do we have? Quite a few. Is the printed tool to hold the carriage required? What do you mean the printed tool to hold the carriage? Oh, this? No, it's not required, but it's going to make your life a heck of a lot easier. If you don't have it, just hope you don't drop the balls out. I say I block ads on YouTube. I don't know. You do you. I mean, technically, it was my own video that I was pulling up. So if anyone's losing money, it's me. And you don't make as much off YouTube ads as you think people do. It's not as much as some people. I've had people say I make certain amounts of figures on YouTube off videos. No. At least my content's clean. Jeez, at least I don't swear on my shows. Those people are getting screwed over big time right now. So for those that out of the loop, YouTube basically changed up their ad rules. If you swear at all in like the first 15 seconds, it's like straight demonetized. And if you swear too much in a video, it's demonetized and you don't know what the limit is. And for all the gun tubers, reloading a magazine is now against the rules too, because you're showing how to assemble a firearm. Yeah. Luckily, I do 3D printing stuff, which is, you know, falls more under the educational banner, I guess, kinda. I don't even know what we do half the times on this show anyways, but luckily I'm kind of like immune to those ongoings, so. Are you Canadian? Those folks don't swear. I did 6 years in the Canadian, 6 years? 6 years Canadian Forces, and I worked in a tool and mold shop for 7 years. I do have a vocabulary that isn't safe for YouTube, I will say. It only comes out when it's warranted. Put it that way. What a joke. But the thing is, you can complain all you want. It's a private company. They can do what they want. I don't agree with it. Believe me, I don't agree with it. But you can complain, but they're well within their rights to do what they want. It's their company. It's their platform. That was a good F-bomb on the bamboo stream. Yeah, when you think a $1,000 printer that apparently is the second coming of Jesus, according to some people, has a potential quite severe fault, I think some colorful language is deserved. Sell me on bamboo without using speed. I've got some things I like about it other than speed, but like anytime I bring up the printer, the fan base, that's the only thing they set on is speed. It's fast. It's fast. I'm like, cool. I don't care about speed. Sell me on it other than speed. AMS. The AMS has good, I like the AMS, but it has downsides. It's picky with spools, and it takes a long time to do filament changes. Unbox and print. So is a Prusa. I mean, so is a lot of printers nowadays. Oh, the MMU. I've not heard good things about the MMU. The MMU is I think the MMU is kind of outdated by now. Like, unfortunately, like a lot of other Prusa stuff. But I don't know. Your filament changes, you say don't worry about speed. Exactly. But the thing is, it does add a ton of time to a print. So for example, it takes, when I did the skull, oop, here's it. This took 580 filament changes at 2 minutes a pop. Because I ran it with the default settings. And a ton of waste. But that's true to all multi-material systems. There is no perfect multi-material systems. They all have downsides. They all have downsides. In my opinion, the AMS is the best one currently for an out-of-the-box experience when it comes to multi-material. That's for sure. It's the most newbie-friendly for sure. But, you know, the fact it doesn't work well with cardboard spools, it's not a perfect solution. It's just kind of one of the better solutions right now. Go. Okay, so we got two there, two there. Oh, we got one more. No, I don't have that one. And then we got two in here. There we go. Okay. What is on the end of my iron? A heat set tool. A few companies make them. This one I got with LDO kits come with them. LDO Voron kits come with them. It's a little brass tip meant for heat sets. It works really good. I like it. It's worth buying if you don't have one. You didn't like get an LDO kit, or your kit didn't come with it. I can't remember. Another kit comes with one too, I think. But it's worth. They're not expensive. You can buy them. CNC Kitchen sells them. There you go. Yeah, that's a good point. The cutter on the tool head that Bamboo does, while it does lead to a purge at the start of every print, it makes tip tuning not a thing. Like that's great. I love that part. Like there's a lot good to the Bamboo. I don't think it's as good as some people claim it is. I think it's an iterative improvement, and it's definitely a first revision product from a brand new company. People harp on Creality for using their buyers as beta testers when they're on revision 3 of the AMS because they kept breaking parts, and firmware keeps having to be updated to fix issues. But, you know, if you're okay with that, then I'm sure their next printer will be even better. And safer. Okay, so I need to put a hex in here. Trust me, some of these. Okay, so I gotta put a hex there. Get one. There we go. Was the ERCFA? The ERCFA is a very good thing if you want something you build yourself. If you want something you build yourself and you want something you have more control over, the ERCFA is a solid option, I believe. One of the big things with the ERCFA is you can build it as big as you need. So if you want a 7-unit multi-material system, you could do that with the ERCFA. Other systems are limited to whatever they come with, so there's that. When it works great. Some people have been using it amazingly. The thing is, I don't do multicolor prints. It's not something I normally do. So yeah, I used it for a bit for like testing it and whatnot, but afterwards it just kind of fell into disuse because I don't do multi-material. Plus I ended up putting it on a printer that I can't print ABS on, and I print a lot of ABS. So pretty much the AMS and the Bamboo have taken over for my multi-material printing needs. So it is what it is. So mine's actually sitting collecting dust right now in the spare bedroom. I'm gonna pull this through 1 second here. Huh? Oh, the pull through? Yeah, doing that right now. There we go. Hammer! Have we looked into Beacon? I have. I've looked at it. I've known about its development for a while. It looks really cool and it's really fast, but it has the same downside as an inductive where you're probing the metal. You're not probing the bed surface. That's the downside with it. You're probing the metal, not the sticker on top of it and not the PEI on top of that. You're probing the metal. So if you got a consistent bed surface, you're okay. But if you're running a really thick layer of PEI that's been sanded down over the years, you're going to run into issues. Okay, so there we go. Correctly inserting nuts. So there we go. Does mine look like that? Mine looks like that. We're good. Sweet. A really loud plane just flew over my house. It won't work with mag beds. It doesn't work with mag beds? Oh, then that's a no-show. I got flex plates on everything. You can't run flex plates with it? Or is it beds that have a like magnetic pucks? So Tech Mike, thank you for becoming a member. Okay, so we got M320s going into there. Okay, so let's start putting this together. So that goes like that, and that goes like that, I guess. Wait, no, that's backwards. There we go. Okay. So M320. And Medela rosework beds are out of the question then. Looks like it. That kind of sucks. I've heard good things about it. Here's the thing. Again, not everything is the best in every situation. It's like when people ask, what printer should I buy? I can't answer that. I need more information. You can't just answer that. There is no one answer for everything. And if you think there is, you're doing it wrong. Okay, so this attaches like that. Buy an under 3. Ooh, don't buy an under 3. Go. You want a good printer right now? Go to buy an SV06 for under $300. What do I think about the Rook? It seems cool. I haven't built one, obviously. It looks like a fun little build. It's a mostly printed Core XY. Mostly printed printers have kind of been around for a while. Every now and then one kind of becomes the cool popular one, and right now it's the Rook. If you're looking for a little project, I don't think it's too expensive to build. So, there we go. So that is now that. Okay, so M316, those go in there, and leave room for the tool heads, throw it into the plastic directly. Don't leave approximately 2.5 millimeters for the tool head. Okay, M316s. Sub 400, nice, there you go. So yeah, if you're looking for like a little project, printer to build. Like I'm, you know, just looking at it, it's not going to be no production powerhouse. But, you know, if you're looking, you know, you've never built a printer before, might be a good option for you. That's the thing. Sometimes it's just fun to build things. Not everything has to serve a reason. Sometimes it's just fun to build it. The Rook is 250, and I think the Rook 180 is 450. There you go. And the thing is, there will always be consistent costs. Like, no matter what you're building a printer out of, you need a controller, you need at least 4 motors, you need an extruder, you need a hot end, you need a bed. There are things that no matter how cheap you cost down some of the parts, like printed parts, there are some things, there's always going to be a baseline cost to building a printer nowadays. Best IDEX? I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't use a lot of IDEX. The last IDEX I used was a Saval SV04, and I didn't use it much, so I can't really suggest a good IDEX. Prusa XL, when it comes out, will probably be pretty solid. That's about it. That's all I can really say. Okay, optical sensor. So we don't have the optical. So we're not doing that one. That's that one. Because we're doing this guy. Okay. So that is that. That goes in like that. Okay. And those go in with M3/8s. Okay. Clipper. No, you can do. There's a Clipper Voron IDEX that exists. The Tridex. You can do IDEX with Clipper, no problem right now. Okay, so we got our PCB that goes there, and then this mounts it. Yeah, Steve just built one. You can do IDEX with Clipper. Okay, I think these, do these screw in the plastic? I think these screw into plastic, so don't over tighten them. So there's your sensor. So how it works is essentially, this rides here and it goes boop, and this is what activates. So this is your carriage, and it goes like that. And you can see you got a little tab up here, and that breaks the line. That breaks the beam. Is when that goes in there, it goes beep, and that's what activates your sensor. Yeah, he's running dual CAN bus. Yeah, the Tridex really benefits from CAN bus. Okay, so we've mounted that. Points for neatness. Wire you should too. Use the die. Okay, we don't got to worry about that. Okay, thread plastic at an angle. The holes are designed at an angle. Go slow, tiny. So thread these in at an angle. Okay. Where are they? There you go. Don't know what the size for this one. No. Nope, too small. There we go. So these are these flat screws are what your magnets are picking up. So you want these in tight, but not, you don't want to strip them. There we go. Okay, fun fact, the thin part has ribs in it to make it really strong. Really? It does? That explains it. Cool. Okay, what are these for? When you install the tool, the bottoms of these screws rest on these screws. Okay, so M36 go into there. Button head. What are your thoughts on CAN bus if you haven't built? What you save in wiring, you make up for with more firmware fuckery, because there's competing CAN bus boards out there right now, and they're not exactly, in my opinion, full-on production ready. There's some that have. Go watch my salad fork build, getting everything set up on the salad fork for CAN bus. You could do it, and when you're done, it's a nice clean setup. But there's still a bit of firmware shenanigans with them. So. All this is for a tool head. Bring me back. I printed it. I built an MDF. I think it's purple. Yeah, this is for a tool head. Is he out of weight? Nope. Just rerun your input shaper. Done. It's 40 grams heavier. It's 40 grams heavier than a stock setup. And if you're really worried about weight that much, you can go boating. I run full fat tool heads on my printer. It's never been an issue. We don't build printers out of acrylic anymore. Speed or weight is not as big of an issue as it used to be in the past. We got better motion planners. We got better tools like input shaper. Printers are more rigid and they're more robust compared to the old days. So 40 grams is the difference in weight. If you think that's an issue and you don't want to use it, just don't use it. Simple as that. Okay. Like the gram chasing people don't run stealth burners anyways. They're off chasing other tool heads. Okay, so assemble and center. 2 dots left, 1 dot right. Okay, so that goes towards the middle and the 2 dots to the top, and that goes in there. And this goes in there. Okay. Okay, and then M310 plus washer. These are the magnet adjustment screws for now. Just snug them up with the magnet holders back. They'll adjust them later. Okay, so M310s plus a washer. Okay. Can you do Voron tap? No, you can't do tap on anything that doesn't have a rigid bed. Because it takes 500 grams of actuation force to activate, you need a rigid bed. So either a Trident style bed where you got support, like it's supported and it's rigid, or you need a straight up rigid bed like on a V2. Will I add the resistor? When we get to it, I think I have resistors. I bench tested this and it seemed okay. Like I just plugged it into a 24 volt power supply and turned the power supply on and it worked. So if it is, I have resistors. I think I'm going to throw one in just to be safe, but we'll see. Yeah. So these are held in. We got on a switch wire. It depends how rigid your bed is. You need a rigid bed for it. If you're running a loosey-goosey V-wheel bed flinger bed, you're probably gonna run into issues. Okay, so there we go with that. Okay, so this is why you have to take the carriage off, by the way, because you have to mount your. Oh, you want to come say hi? Okay, come say hi. You good, buddy? Good. Oh, is that the spot? Is that the spot? Right there? Good. Someone's wanting attention. Look at those. Look at that puppy dog eyes. Aww. Hey, buddy. You doing good? Mama not giving you attention. That's why you're coming down here. Oh, jeez. You had food. Mama gave you a full bowl of food this morning. You want food? Go bug Mama. How's his ears? Doing good. He's back on the medication. It comes and goes. But he's got like the floppy ears, right? So he gets the wax buildup. But they're doing okay right now. Okay. I gotta get back to work. I gotta get back to work. Give me some butt scratches on the way out. There we go. How old is he? He turns 11 next month, I believe. Yeah, next month he turns 11. So. Bye, doggo. Okay, so. Now we need to put our rail on. And, okay, so heat set used as a standoff. So this is something you gotta pay attention. So this heat set is used as a standoff. Thread into the M12 as shown and secured. When tightening, the M12 head was set above the surface. Okay, so we got M36, M38, and M312. Okay. So we got one, okay. Streams converting any of your machines to CAN bus. I have CAN bus in the salad fork. I did a build series on the salad fork and we used CAN bus for that. That's the closest I've done to it. I haven't done a video on it yet because I don't like doing videos on things that I think are going to change a lot in the near future, and CAN bus is one of those things. So I don't plan on doing a video on it because I think it's just going to all change too soon. PF Dennis, thank you for gifting a membership, or 5 gifted community memberships. So use Loctite. It doesn't say to use Loctite. Where does it say to use Loctite? I never use Loctite on my rails. As long as you torque them to spec, you should be good. But it is on plastic. You do have a good point. You know what? I'll put a little dab of the nail polish. How's that? If I can find it. Where did I put it? I don't know where my nail polish. Where's my nail polish at? There it is. Loctite eats ABS. Yeah, yeah. For those that don't know, don't use Loctite on anything that's touching ABS. You'll destroy it. But a little bit of nail polish doesn't hurt it. Okay, so that's that. 3, 6. Dabble, do ya? Chor was getting, yeah. I think CAN bus is still very early stage, especially for like Clipper. It's there and it's functional. The problem is it's because there are different companies that do different boards and you're reliant on their firmware, and it's, I don't know. I don't think it's mature yet. It's definitely not beginner friendly yet. Okay, and what is it? M312. What's the torque spec in Ugga Duggas? CAN bus is very old. Well, okay. I know CAN bus as a protocol is very old, but when it comes to 3D printers, it's still relatively new. The cleanest implementation of it, I believe, is Duet. But Duet has the advantage of being a well, not a closed ecosystem, but a very limited and controlled ecosystem with hardware that's kind of all under the hands of the creator. So they can create an implementation for CAN bus that is, you know, consistent on duets, right? The duet and their CAN bus stuff. Whereas Clipper, you're relying on whatever Bigtree tech came out that day and will stop making in 3 months because they can't get the MCU anymore. So and I'm just using like a speck of nail polish on this, by the way. Like basically just enough to wet it so that it's there. Okay. Yeah, once you get it working, it's fine. It's just the initial setup is kind of a pain in the butt. Okay. So I've gone ahead, I've put those on. Put the stopping nut there. That's there, that's there. Okay. Trident style of switch. Okay, Hall effect magnet. Okay, so I gotta put a magnet in here because I have Hall effect on this guy. And I don't know which way my magnet goes. So I gotta find the old parts and put a magnet in there that's the same orientation. Where's my old tool head? Are you it? No, you're not the one side. You need the other side. Are you it? No. Where's the magnets at? Uh-oh. Where's my magnet at? Did the magnet come out? That was there. Yeah, that was that. The magnet goes into one of these parts, right? Am I missing something here? Unless it fell out when I took it apart. Shit. Okay, I'll have to put the magnet in later then. Yeah, I don't know where the magnet's at. Okay, well, I'll put the magnet in later. I run a Hall effect tool head on, or correction. Yeah, Hall effect XY and stop on this, so. Okay, so we'll put the magnet in later. No biggie. Okay, so we got to tuck the belts through. Wait, are we mounting this already? How are we mounting this? Wait, we're putting this together already? Okay. I'm like, wait, what are we doing? What's going on? Tuck the belts through the slot. If they stick out, we'll tension them later. Oh, that's gonna be fun to tension. What am I looking at here? So that goes there, that goes there. Yeah, so good. You need a lot of extra belt for this. Slide the carriage onto the rail. Mount that. And then how do you mount it to the tool head? Am I missing the step where we mount it to the rail? Install. Oh, here, yeah, this is, okay, so yeah, this is the part right here, so we mount it on right now. Okay. I'm like, where am I? Oh, here we go. Yeah, there we go. Mount it to the carriage. There we go. Assemble center. Okay. I'm like, wait, where are we at? Did we skip something here? I needed new belts because my belts were pretty much cut flush, and they're ancient. The belts that I was running on here before were from back when this was, I think, a 2.1, maybe even. So it needed some new belts. The belts had a good life. I wanted to put new belts in anyways. The belts I had in here were ancient. I figured it was time to put some new stuff in. Yep. Yep, that's good there. Okay. So now we need to put the belts in. How is that supposed to go in? Okay, that goes in there and then it comes back out. Okay. Okay, so let's get some belt. Where is my belt? Where did I put you? Aha. You're too short. Trying to find out where my good belt is. I know I have. That's all. That's too short. That's too short. Go with this belt. Sure, why not? That's belt. What kind is it? I don't know, but it's got carbon fiber in it. Or it does have support. We're good. Okay. Belts first, then M6 button heads. Okay. Well then, if it's belts first, why does it show putting the button heads in and the button heads in? And then, oh, I see. Okay, so we're probably gonna have to pop this off and then put it back on. Or maybe, I don't know. It doesn't, it's already showing the carriage here. Tuck the belts in and pull off to the side. Don't worry if they stick out. Oh, it says, okay, there you go. Make sure the belt attachment screws in and loosens. Completely pull the belt through the illusion. Center the MGN X using 4M43. Okay, cool. Well, what I'm going to do is run the belts first, and then we'll get to this part. Okay. Because I don't know how long these belts need to be, so I'm gonna do my belt run right now. Overhead cam. And where are my needle nose that I've lost and then found and then lost and found? Actually, what I'm gonna do, where are my old belts? Where are my old belts at? Okay, ready for this? You ready for this? Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, so this is, that's an old Z belt. Is that an old, that's an old Z belt? Where's my old XY belts? These are my old Z belts. Shoot. Did I keep my old XY belts? There we go, old XY belt, okay. So I still have my old belts and I could reuse them, but I kind of don't trust them at this point. So what I'm going to do is do that and just give it a little bit extra and call it a day. There we go. Make sure they're equal length. There we go. Okay. Running belts. Isn't running belts so fun, folks? I love running belts on printers. It just makes me so happy. You run the belts, And then you run the belts, and you run some more belts. And then you do it again. Try to feed them through, and nothing feeds through, right? And then you're pushing the belts, and they're going somewhere, but you don't know where they're going. And you're like, where are you going, belts? And you're like, oh, you found a hole, and now you're jammed in there. And you're like, okay, well, let's try this again. Let's try this again. Maybe go in that hole this time, right? And then you keep going, and you're pushing the belt, and it's going somewhere, but you don't know where. And you're like, oh, it's somehow out here now. So much fun. Okay. Look, why are you stuck in this slot? I want you in this slot. Why? Ah, shoot. Ah, it's in there. That's why. Dang it. Dang it, Bobby. Let's try this again. Always these front idlers are the biggest pain in the butt. There we go. Gotcha. Yeah, it's the bottom one. I'm just gonna shove you in there for now. And also, hopefully, my wonderful carbon fiber motor mounts work out here. Everything still lines up. I don't think we're gonna have an issue, but you know, at least it gives me something to do a video on if we do have an issue. That is really close. Hopefully that's not bad. Okay. It's really close to the standoff here. If I need to, I could take this standoff out and I'll just put a screw mounting the motor. I think the belt is clearing it, but it's like right there. I won't know for sure until I tension it up. Because I'm looking and there is clearance, but it's close. But I won't know until it's tensioned how close that is there. Go. Just gonna show you in there for now. There we go. Cool. Okay, so that's one belt. Are you going to do a bamboo YOLO speed test after? No. Why would I? If I can make a Voron 1.0 with 12 volts and 8-bit ramps, running clipper, move as fast as a bamboo, then anything can move as fast as a bamboo. Like, speed doesn't mean anything. It's how well you can print at those speeds, and I don't run this machine at those speeds. So it's kind of like, it's you know, if we want to do dick measuring contests with 3D printers, we can, but speed benches aren't as cool as they used to be. That fad kind of died, luckily. That was cancer for printers. Like, don't get me wrong, speed benches were cool, but now everyone thinks like that's the benchmark. It has to print fast. You know, let's be honest, speed benches look like ass. But oh my god, it has a motion system that can move fast. You know, it's the same motion system as every other printer. It's NEMA 17s and belts. Speed don't mean anything. Well, okay, no, speed does mean something. It's not a completely non-factor thing, but it just depends on the user and how important it is to them. Because remember, the fastest printer is more than one printer. And you can buy 3 SV06s, almost 4 for the price of an X1, I believe. And those will print faster. And flow and cooling is the limit. Yeah, it is. It's been the limit for a while. Hardware-wise, remember, the hardware of a 3D printer hasn't changed in forever. Yeah, we have better extruders now and higher flow hot ends. But in terms of a motion system, there's nothing special about anything that's come out in the past, like, couple of years. It's, you know, it's Core XY. It's rods and bearings and belts. Like, I mean, my V1.0 is closer to a bamboo than this is. This has rails. That has rods. Put a high flow hot end in it and some better part cooling. Whole different beast, which we will be doing, by the way. I've already got the parts made up to mount a APSU extruder, direct feed extruder, and a volcano, because, you know, I kind of want to keep that that, you know, 2016 2017 aesthetic of what was good in 3D printing. Where are you going? Where are you going? No, you go in there. No, come on. It's always these front idlers are always the pain in the butt. Okay, you go there. Oh wait, that's the wrong way. Shoot, that's why. No, ah. It's going the wrong way. Extruder, yeah. It's the metal extruder from Drop Effect. Go around the corner. Why aren't you going around the corner? Are you planning a 3-hour stream or short? 3 hours today. I gotta end it. For those that don't know, during weekday streams like this, when it's early, when I started at the 11 o'clock start time, I have to finish the stream at 2 because I gotta go pick up the little guy from school. So the stream will end at 2 o'clock, right on. And Friday stream, I actually gonna be a short stream. Friday stream's only gonna be like a 2-hour stream. So there we go. So there we go. Okay. Think I missed something. What is tab? Read the description of the video. There's a link that will fill you in with everything you need to know about it. Nobody reads video descriptions anymore. Sad. Okay, so now I gotta take this off so we can run these belts properly. Okay, so how do these run? So it looks like they come in from the back, go up the front, and then out to the side. Okay, so in from the back and out the side. Oh. Overhead. There we go. Yeah, 11. Next 2 weeks, the Monday, Tuesday, or the Tuesday, Friday streams are at 11 a.m. start time, Eastern. Actually, no, I think you leave these up first. So at least kind of started, I think. Has anyone opened any tickets with Bamboo lately, though, by the way? I opened a ticket on last week, and I still haven't got a response from them about my bed sensors failing. You know, I think I fixed it. Yes, and they've been terrible. Lunar New Year. If your $1,000 printer, all service for it, shuts down worldwide because of a holiday in one country, then that's no bueno. Because Lunar New Year, it's not like a week thing. It's like pretty much half the month. Plus, I'm pretty sure they have support in different countries. Okay, that's that. That's that. So is that rubbing? I might have to take that standoff out. We'll see. Early February. Well, that's kind of a knock against them. Or, I mean, who knows? I could be on their shit list because I said things about their printer, about safety issues I have. Okay. Safety concerns. Put it that way. Okay, so let's make these equal. That's equal. Okay, so. Force measurement. Yeah, Bamboo uses piezos for their. They use the LiDAR, which is pretty much just flow, and watch 3D print generals on it. It doesn't do much, in my opinion. I turned it off. A lot of people just turn it off. But they use 3 piezo bed sensors, which are force sensors in the bed to do the your Z offset. That's what they do. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of piezo bed sensors. We actually tried them years ago on Vorons and we abandoned the idea because it reliability issues. But who knows, QC in a different environment might help. The LiDAR pretty much only is used for flow calibration. So if you use good quality filament, like I'm going off of what 3D Print General's video is on it and just kind of what I've noticed, it's pretty much if you use good quality filament, the LiDAR isn't really needed. If you're using like some really junk filament where the diameter is all over the place, the LiDAR does more. But if you're just using good filament to begin with, the LiDAR is that it? That's out a little bit. There we go. Okay. How difficult would it be to use a 3D printer in space? Wouldn't be a problem. It's a motion system. You would need to build the printer. So here's the thing, with a lot of 3D printers, gravity does something, okay? So if you're using like a cantilever bed, your bed will always kind of tilt down a bit because of gravity, okay? Certain things are preloaded with gravity. Gravity's a thing, okay? Lead screws, okay? Your lead screws, there's play in your lead screw, but because of gravity, it's always at the bottom. So essentially, if you want to build a printer for space, you need to have it so that there's no play in the motion system because there's no gravity to take that play out, essentially. After that, it doesn't matter. You could use, you know, this would work in space, no problem. If you can print if your printer works fine upside down, it'll work in space, no problem. The only thing is with space, you need to worry about there's no convection. So heat rises on Earth. In space, it doesn't. It just forms a bubble around the heat. So even in the space station, they have to like run vents and whatnot to keep air moving. Because also carbon dioxide, it doesn't like, you know, lighter gases and heavier gases separate on Earth. In space, they don't. They just kind of blob up. So if you just are sleeping in space and your sleeping bag and you got no air movement, you'll eventually just build up a bubble of carbon dioxide around you because you're not moving. Tell me where to get TAP 24 looking and in stock. You gotta wait for the new PCB because there's a defect in the PCB we found out. So either that or roll the dice and pay FISAC because they didn't seem to take theirs down, but they're not safe, so don't use them. So no tap. Tap will work. You got a magnet holding it in place, not space. Okay, so we got that. I'm gonna trim these belts a little bit. I don't know how much can you trim these belts? I'm gonna trim that much. What's with the FISAC PCB? Oh, it's the same PCB as all the other ones. It's just they keep selling it. You know, it's defective. Okay. So now we need to put the carriage back on. Okay, I could do that. So I'm gonna put a little lubrication in there. Yeah, inrush. Basically, when you power it up, depending on your setup or whatever, there's a chance you could feed it more than 24 volts due to a voltage spike on power up. And if that happens, it no working no more. I bench tested mine at 24 volts. Like I just hooked it up to a 24 volt power supply and powered it on, and it seemed to be okay. So I'm going to roll the dice because not all of them are affected. But yeah, it's not repairable. Not grease. It is grease. White lithium grease. High performance white lithium grease. Yeah, 2 ohm. I think I'm going to do that. I have some resistors. I'm going to look up and see what I got. There we go. I'll check that in a minute here once we get this built up. I'm kind of hoping that we get this built today and then Friday we get it printing. That's kind of, what are we at right now? Yeah, 1240, yeah. So the plan is to get this built and then get it printing on Friday. So. Side of the PCB, it just makes it cleaner. Not everyone's comfortable like soldering and whatnot. So it just makes it, you know, a little. Wires are nice and my screws are tight before. Okay. Yeah, tap isn't long. I know. The plan is basically just to get it like built today, and then we'll because I only got an hour and 20 minutes left. Okay, so now what do I need here? M36 plus washers. Okay. So I got my washers. Where's my M36? Am I missing a bag? I got my washers. M36. Did I drop? Did I accidentally throw them out without paying attention? Got my washers. M36. Where's my M36? It's the only bag I got left on the table. Class. Like I can, you know, just grab some. Oh, there we go. Nope. M36, they're empty. Jason! For all I know, these are parts that should have been like, maybe they're part of the like the original part kit, because this only comes with the extra. So I'm assuming M36 might have been what we mounted the rail with originally, and we just kept it. What I'm gonna do in the meantime is just borrow some from the other kit. Shh. M36. Any thoughts on the change LUO make the bed, heater, and power supply for the night? I've already got it. I've got that PCB bed they have. It's cool. We're gonna use it when I do V02, so. Yeah, that's another option. The PCB, I should just be able to plug, like, it just works with anything 5 to 24. So I might just swap out my wire and just feed it 5 volt instead of 24 volt. That way, if it does spike, it doesn't spike that high. Right? Am I right for thinking that? Like, is that? Put a washer on each one of these. Remember, each one of these M36 uses a washer. That's cool. Don't remember any failures at 5 volt. Yeah, so I'll just swap it out because I'm pretty sure the bed probe wire on this, I like the, because I have this, I can't remember. It's been a hot minute since I looked at the wiring on a Spider, but I think the probe port it's plugged into, I could just tell it to feed it 5 volt instead of 24. So I might just drop it down to 5 and call it a day. It works. It's as sensitive. Like it's fine. It's just, you know, it's nice to have 24 because a lot of people their wiring is 24 volt to the head, like on the older setups. If you're using the PL08 probe, like I mean, people are still running ramps in theirs, so. There we go. That's it. Okay. So we have that. Oh, you have extra belt. You can tuck it in there. Cool. Well, I cut it too short for that to be a thing. So. Okay. Now we got to put all this together. So I got to put together a clockwork. So there's some, okay, with tool head assembled. Okay, so you got to build the tool head. So now we got to build the rest of the owl. So I got to put together a clockwork too. So let me get all the parts for that. Because I need a motor. I'm gonna have to borrow a motor. Do I got a motor here? That'll work. There we go. 36 millimeter pancake. I got that. I've got, you need an extruder, right? Clockwork is based off of a BMG, right? So I need a BMG that I can tear apart for parts. This one will work. So now we're going on a tangent because I gotta take one of these apart. Got like a little chunk of carbon fiber or something in my hand and it's stabbing me and I'm not having a good day. Where's the little guy? Little guy's at school right now. Oh, wait, no, I need a BMG. I need... what do I need to take apart to get this? There we go. This guy, right? Because that's different. No, I need. Oh man, am I missing? Uh-oh. 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 I might have to. Oh no. Oh no. Uh-oh. We might be missing more than I thought I was missing. No, that's orbiter. That's an orbiter. That's an LGX light. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to cannibalize a bunch of stuff here. No, that's a different idler. I don't know if I have an extra BMG kit that I can use for clockwork here. Because this had an LGX in it. Is there an LGX mount? Shoot, I'm gonna have to print this. I need an LGX mount that'll work with an Orbiter 2 or a CW2 compatible. No, because it screws from the front though. So would that make it incompatible? I need to screw it from the other side, so I need a different mount. What's that Voron mod site? So we might have to put a pin in it here. Shoot. Old mini. It's missing half the stuff. That's the problem. Clockwork 1. Yeah, the problem with the Clockwork 1 I have is it's like a broken one. I'm missing the it's missing parts. The LGX light has about cool. Okay, we're going to LGX light. Anyone got a link to it? We're going to LGX light. Finally use this for something. Oh, LGX also has a mount. Well, I'll stick with the LGX. I like the LGX. I like the full-size LGX. The link I sent. Okay, is it on Discord? Yeah, post it on Discord. You gotta post it on Discord for me to see. You can't post it in Voron mods V2 LGX light mount. Link above. You can't link in on YouTube if it doesn't show the link. I can't see your link. You could post it, but it won't show it to anyone. It's a safety thing. There we go. Hey. Come on, print bowls. And in the meantime, where'd that purple at? There we go. Okay, cool. LGX light adapter files. How many files? Please tell me it's just one file. LGX from front 3MF. Underneath that, underneath. Version 2.3. One piece. Screws from front version. I'm assuming download the newest version. August, there we go. Cool. Okay. Well, come on, Bamboo. Bamboo to the rescue. It can't do 3MF? What? It can? Why are you being complaining? Okay, cool. Yeah, you have to be a mod, I think, to post a link. It's otherwise people just spam links, right? It's a safety thing. Try the I want to save the LGX light for something that makes sense to put a light tool head in. Yeah, all right. Eat your purple food. Generic ABS. Confirm. Okay, so so that's hot ABS. We're gonna print you with number 4. Okay. And we're gonna print you with Voron spec slice. Cool. Does that look okay? That looks fine. That looks fine to me. Does that look fine to you? That cool. Print that. Low calibration F that. We ain't got time for that. Send. Confirm. Go. Cool. So now we wait. I can put together some stuff though. I can put together some stuff because I've got the stealth printer. So now we gotta wait for that to go. And this thing takes a while to heat the bed up. So we're gonna be waiting a minute. Hi, Steve. Everyone say hi, Steve. Yeah, that was a flub on my part. I thought I had a spare LGX. Like, I've got the motor. Or a spare micro that I could rip apart for parts, but I guess I did not. So, the box that I thought I had the spare LGX parts in it, or BMG parts in it, was empty. So, alas, that was not to be. Who preps for this stuff anyways? You don't need to prep for this stuff, right? Who preps for this? GitHub has an LGX. I'm printing an LGX mount right now. The only difference is how does all this mount now? Now I'm gonna have to figure out how to mount all this stuff. I'm gonna have to reuse the mounts for like the chain and everything, I think. Yeah, one of these days I'll put a BMG in something. I'll put it in the other guy. Because what do I have in this one? Yeah, that's the one that's gonna get the BMG, is that one. Or the Clockwork 2. Well, max speed, I don't know. I'm gonna run the same profile I always run. I don't chase speed on my printers, so I run profiles that I know are good, known, reliable speeds. What is a BMG? Bondtech something gear. It's an extruder. And for the clockwork too, and most Voron extruders, you basically use the gears from it. So you basically you buy either the gears or you just buy like a clone BMG kit and you rip it apart. Oh, I need more. Bondtech mini gear. There you go. Yeah, I like the LGX. It's a solid extruder. Although I'm realizing now I gotta print mounts for it. Like drag chain mount and whatnot. I guess I could just reuse the mount. I don't think it changed. Yeah, it just mounts to the back of it. So I'll just reuse the mount and the cable cover. I'll have to figure out something for the cable cover. Okay, so you're hot. Stay there. There we go. That is that mounted. Not a Revo Voron? No, my Revo Vorons are in printers already. This is my beta Revo. That's why. This is beta. This is from the beta. That's why. Man, Bamboo really has issues with ABS on these overhangs. This was printed on the Bamboo. So there we go. And if you're wondering how it's going to look with the, I'm keeping the resin front. I think that looks pretty, I like that. I really like that. There's no LEDs in this. I'm not putting LEDs in this. Nice. Yeah, they got a fan on it. That's why. Okay, so now we wait on that to print. How you folks doing? Y'all doing good? Everyone good? Y'all having fun? No LEDs. I didn't have LEDs in it before, and I don't want to run extra wires to the tool head. So I'm being lazy and leaving LEDs out. When I do this one, when I upgrade this guy, this is running a stealth burner, but it's running a clockwork one. This is going to get upgraded to tap with LEDs in the stealth burner with a clockwork 2, and I'm going to make a video on it. So hate LEDs. I don't hate LEDs. It's just they're annoying. Well, not annoying. My cameras are mounted up top, so they don't do anything really on my printers. Gonna toss your monoprice out the window. Send it. The problem is that resin front has a few issues, kinda, sort of, that would make putting the LEDs in it kind of a pain in the butt. And then also, it's like an old revision, so I don't even know if the LEDs fit. I mean, this has LEDs at the top, so. There we go. So now we gotta wait on the bamboo to finish printing before we can do anything. Did I remember to tell it to turn off its calibrating stuff? That is annoying. Mount cam and a Voron. So I tend to mount them up top here. Here's the camera. It's top looking down. You kind of want it in a spot where you can see the whole bed, but like it's harder on a V2 than a Trident. Trident is kind of nice because you can mount it in one spot and you can see the first layer and everything as you go. With this, you know, if you're looking at the bed, you're not going to be able to see the top of the print. So you kind of have to mount it up high, look down to get everything in view. So. Can you print in resin? You can print the diffuser in resin. Yes. Okay, preheating the bed. Okay, so we're heating the hot end. How much time do we got to wait here? 45 minutes. Ugh. Ugh. Someone used a hot glue gun as a diffuser. It'll work. Yeah. Uh-oh, somebody's breaking the Voron license. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. What is it, Wuxin? How do you pronounce this? Wuxin? Wuxin 3D? From Fort Collins, Colorado. They have their own version of the Voron calibration cube with their logo on it, which is fine. But that's under GPL v3, so they gotta put the source out, and apparently they don't have the source available. Breaking the law, breaking the law. Firmware and software, there's your slicer, and there's your firmware. Oh, yeah, breaking the law. Your firmware is a Marlin zip. Oh, breaking the law. It's a little calibration cube, who cares? But, come on. Come on. So if you're wondering how stealth burner mounts hold up with a Revo, this was printed whenever the beta for Revo started. So this was printed, I want to say like May of last year, maybe April, May, June of last year. And it's been non-stop in my machine since then. And I don't know. I don't see any wear on it at all. The only thing is there's a little bit of melty. There's a little bit of melty where the cable was against it. But other than that, looks pretty clean. A little bit of changes, a little bit of changes. Yeah, Revo Micro. That's why this had a Revo Micro, because the Revo Micro was what the beta unit was. Beta units were Revo Micros. This was before Revo Voron. What cam do I use? I think I did I do a video on it? I can't remember. It's like a OVS cam. Somebody will probably link it, but I don't know what the camera is. Okay, come on, Bamboo. Oh, gotta do it. I still can't believe I fixed the faulty bed sensor with a piece of tape. That's got to do the bed mesh. Hey, have fun, Steve. So yeah, so right now we're waiting on this to print. Yeah, anything you guys want to talk about? Because I kind of on me goofed and now we got to print off OV5640. There you go. It's not, I'm pretty sure it is Hart's design. Hey, Doom Paints. Can we talk about feelings? My head feels better. That's good. Let's see, what other mods are there that we need? So I'm gonna have to reuse parts here, which kind of sucks, but what do I need? What do I need here? So I'm gonna need this guy to mount my drag chain. And I think I'm gonna need the cover still. So I'm gonna have to print a new cover. Because unfortunately I won't be able to use the fancy cover. So LGX connector cover. I'm gonna have to print this guy too. Download. So there we go. Yeah, okay, so I'll print that off. There we go. Cool. Why not go to umbilical? Why? I'd have to completely redo all the wiring on the machine versus just connect it back together and put a cover over it. Like, I literally, I have everything's already run. I'm just gonna plug it back together and it's all set up. So, best hot end for ERCFA? I had really good luck with the Revo. Yeah, the tap recall is just for the 5 to 24 volt compliant PCB. And tips are just for starting a business around 3D printing. Got 2 printers and love it as a hobby. 2 printers. I don't 3D print stuff for people. So I'm not the person to ask. That would be somebody like Uncle Jesse, or even Joel does it. But basically, you need to factor in how long it takes you to print the thing, plus material cost, plus machine wear, plus how much is it to make it worth your time. You could start small, offer to print stuff, like put a little thing up on Facebook Marketplace, say offer to print stuff for people, or find a model that you are allowed to print and sell for profit. A lot of models are licensed not for profit, or you have to be like a member of their Patreon to be able to legally sell their models, okay? So you could find like the meme print and print off a bunch of the crystal snakes, you know, go pay Cinder Wings, you know, what is it, 10 or 20 bucks a month, become a member of her Patreon, and then print off a bunch of these and sell them for however much on Facebook Marketplace, and hopefully you have buyers. Or you could do commission-based stuff. It's the thing is, 2 printers is really not enough to do a print farm. So you're looking at limited run things, very limited runs. So I recently built a switch wire in the XZ motor mounts. Upon tensioning, bent outwards a little. Is this normal? Maybe I'd have to go look at mine. If it's working, and it's working, you might have over tensioned the belts. Can you use ERCFA? Technically, you can use ERCFA with pretty much any printer running Marlin, or correction, Clipper or RepRap firmware. Technically, the problem is, on a V0, you have a 120 millimeter bed. That's not a lot of room for purge, and like you're not going to be printing anything big because you also need room for the purge. So it's, yes, you could do it, but it's not really recommended. Yes, I've seen VZ bots. Maybe I was in contact with the creator a little while ago, but I haven't heard anything for a bit. Maybe I would like to build one. We'll see. So these are garbage. Anycubic printer is cursed. I don't know. I've never used one. The only Anycubic I've ever used is the Photon 2K, and it works fine. But that's a resin machine. Is their printer just a generic Ender clone? Then there's your problem. It's worth using ABS Max. I don't know what ABS Max is. Is that just some random company's proprietary blend of ABS? Put it this way, I just use normal ABS or ABS Plus on most of my prints, and I have no issues. Have I had any issues with the LDO after soldering to the Revos emitter. Did I solder anything to the Revos emitter? I don't know. That machine's been running fine though. Other than I had a break in the wire. I had my wires a little too tight in the drag chains and I broke a few wires. I had to swap out the drag chain and the wire run, and it's working fine. How do you attach it? With the mount we're printing right now. So we attach it with this guy, which is printing. So once this is done printing, then we can attach it. So we need to let that do its thing. And then we put it on here and then we attach it. I guess you don't go speed. Yeah, I have no problem waiting an extra hour or two for a print. I've got enough machines that if I need to print a lot of stuff fast, I just print it on multiple machines. Once you have like several machines, one machine printing fast isn't really, especially if you're not doing production, which I don't, is yeah. I'm gonna use extension cables with the Revo. I normally just run the drag chain right to it. So because I don't have a PCB in this machine, it just plugs right in. So I just made the cables long enough to just plug them in. Quality speed. I prefer the term, I'd rather prefer reliability over speed. Like this machine, 2 years, I think I've had like 2 failed prints. Like in terms of like the whole bed being wiped out. Like, yeah, you get the R print warps or whatever, that happens. But like this machine has been like dead on reliable for quite a while. Actually, while we're at it, let me mount this back in. Take care of this while I'm thinking about it. Is it worth upgrading XY on V2 to genuine high winds? Nope. None of my machines run high winds. I don't believe high winds are worth it on a 3D printer. There is no forces involved on your tool head other than motion. So any decent rail, like medium preload rail, you're perfectly fine. Spend the money on a better hot end, better extruder components, or just filament. You'll get more out of it. Do you have any exhaust system or do you smell the fumes? All my machines, except for the Bamboo actually, because Bamboo does its own thing. All my machines are sealed up. So I don't run exhaust fans on my machine. I just keep them sealed up and closed, and I don't open them while they're printing. And then normally this room, I'm usually not in here when the machines are running. They're loud and the room gets hot. So this room, I usually keep the doors closed and I actually, the vents closed, and I actually have weather stripping on the door. So basically this room that I'm in, the print room, is kind of its own self-contained thing. Never more worth it. Some people really like it, and I probably should put one in one of my machines at some point. Some people really like it. So if you, and it's also really good if you want to get higher temps in your chambers, because it does, the air movement kind of turns your printer into a convection oven. So it helps a bit with getting some better temps. But I've never really had an issue with temps because I keep my machines pretty sealed up, so they still get pretty warm in there. So it's not really something I've run into an issue with. There we go. Yep, got the XY in there. Cheers, ET. Okay, print, go fast. How's the head? It's better. You can still sort of see. Actually, screw it. I don't know. With YouTube sensors being what they are now, I got a nice about 1 inch like scab now on the top of the head from that. But clicky or tap, I don't know what tab is. Tap is on paper better because it's more accurate and it's a single unit. You don't have to worry about like a docking probe and it's simpler. But you know, I'm running clicky on this machine and I have no plans of replacing it. So we can really hear. Yeah, the X1 is stupid loud. Like if you're running a printer in your room, don't buy an X1. Don't buy the Bamboo machines. They're way too bloody loud. And remember, I have noise canceling on too. Like, 1 second here. Filters. Okay, there's noise suppression off. Let me mute the music. Okay. Now remember, this is with the fans off. It doesn't have the big, you know, leaf blower going. Ever looking to unclicky? I did, but then tap development was kind of coming to a head, and I was like, I'll probably end up just going with tap. Gary gifted 1 community membership. Cheers, Gary. Getting ready to install a chamber heater. I won't recommend or talk about putting chamber heaters in Vorons. They're not designed for it. Have I tried Marlin input shaper? I have not. I don't have any machines I use that run Marlin. The closest thing I have is my Prusa, which is collecting dust in the spare bedroom right now. So I can remove this finally. I'm just realizing that. Over 4 years. Actually, yeah, it'll be, oh my God. This would have been 5 years, 4.5 years, almost 5 years of service out of this switch. Look at that. Ugh. I can finally retire you. Look at that. Omron Z15 GSB, made in Japan. There you go. 5 years. This was my Z switch for 5 years almost. Listen to that. So satisfying. You knew when this thing homed. You knew when it homed. I can unplug you too. Retired. This cable is old. That's V2.0 stuff. You want to talk V2.0? I still have. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Some good old Cat 5 cable for my bed thermistor. Because the bed thermistor is like, I jumpered it to, for the connector, it's Cat 5. Because back in the day, we thought Cat 5 was the greatest for printer wiring for non-high volt stuff. Or not high load stuff. Where did I put it? There it is. Yeah, these two things, like, classic. This is the last, like, functional part from this being a V2.0 that was still in regular use, was this. This went in around 2.1 or 2.2, because it replaced my original one. What's wrong with Cat 5? Cat 5 was, we used it a lot in 3D printers back in the day before it started failing in drag chains. Will tap ship with LDO? LDO is making tap kits. They put them on pause though because of the PCB issue though. Yeah, this thing is classic. There you go. This is going up on the wall at some point. Is this a failed Revo? What's this about this? Oh yeah, this is the bad Revo. Yeah. Like, this is my bad Revo. I gotta do that one day. I've got an extra heater from a, the Bamboo. I've got a Revo heater core, and I gotta do some runaway video. I gotta do a video on runaway once the weather cleans up. I can go outside. What Voron do I recommend I build? All of them. I need more information than that to give you an answer. What time are we at? What time are we at? 1:20. Okay. Hopefully this finishes. I gotta leave at 2 o'clock, and we've got 25 minutes left. Shoot. I'm confused as to what TAP is. Hybrid robotics. If there was a link in the description that could answer your question, it would be a link in the description that could answer your question. Yeah, TAP works with cam. All it is an end stop. All it is an end stop. That's all it is. It's just an end stop. Voron tap doesn't click though. You can. There's a version of it that does use a clicky switch. There is a version that uses a clicky switch. There's a version that uses a PCB, which is the one we're using here, and there's also a version that uses a the sensor by itself. But you need like to wire in some resistors and whatnot to make it like functional. We have music. Oh yeah, here. Let me turn the music back on. There we go. What? You don't want to hear the Bamboo going nonstop? Filter. Nope, not that. Let me turn the noise filter back on. There we go. PCB 2 parts? No, it's 1 part. We already have it installed. It's right here. And so what ends up happening is when you print and it goes boop, and that's what activates it right there. Turn up the Bamboo. It is turned up. It actually, it might be in the stealth setting. Is it on the stealth setting still? No, it's on the standard setting. Let's go to sport mode. Oh wait, I want my print to be dimensionally accurate. Standard. No, ludicrous. I want my print to look good. Let's see. Position of tap the head when it's triggered. It's down. The position is down. So when it activates, it goes boop and it probes. So when it's printing, it's down, which that's what you want. Cheers, Mad Mitten. No. How many grams of force does it need? 500 to 800 grams, which is quite a bit, but you're using it with a rigid bed, so it's fine. And also, the more force it takes to activate means the more rigid it is when it's not activated. And most of that activation is just lifting up the weight of the tool head. And there's magnets to hold it in place too. Like you could feel like when you push on it, it takes a second before it goes boop. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, I got a little bit of something stuck in there. Am I? There we go. There we go. How the shaper graphs? I think they're, I can't remember. I don't have a before graph. I've also changed up my motor mounts and a bunch of other stuff, so nothing on here is the same, unfortunately. So I can't do a direct one-to-one comparison before and after. Am I using a master spool? I am not. I've got 2 Polymaker spools in there right now that have the little rings on it so it feeds reliably, and then just whatever random spools that fit. And then I've had to actually go ahead because I had this thing falling apart on me. So on this guy, I had to do the fix where you print some reinforcement and super glue them in because I had the little tabs breaking because they're now on Rev 3 of the AMS, and I think I have Rev 1. So. Lock the tool head when printing. Magnets. And weight. Gravity and magnets. We'll at the moment, tabs only for stealth burner. Yeah, right now the magnets are just there. They're not fully activated. Like they're not really grabbing it. So right now it's not as rigid as it will be later. Don't I have 2 AMSs? I do. I have a pre-production one and a Rev 1 production one. The pre-production one's in the other room because it's outdated. They told me to switch to this one. Thoughts on 0.1 versus 0.2? If you got a 0.1 that's working right now, fine. Upgrading to 0.2 probably won't buy you much, other than the only thing I would say if you really want to upgrade is worth it is the spinny stealth burner. But even though I have 2 AMSs, I don't have the splitter. They never sent me one, which I wouldn't have set it up anyways. I don't have room for 2 AMSs, so I can't do more than 4 colors anyways. Yeah, you can link them together, but you need a special item that they sell to link 2 together. What's the difference? What do you... I don't know. Oh, in the AMSs, I have no clue. I think it's PCB design or something. I don't know. Why print with the X1? Because I have a Voron next to it. Because those were unloaded with the filament I needed. This, I could easily throw the filament in because I want it purple. So I would have to unload that and then load it. And then, yeah, that's why. Plus I'm printing one single part as quick as I can. So the bamboo runs faster with individual parts, I find. Because the machine I would normally print this on doesn't have a tool head on it right now. That has a 0.6 nozzle too, and this is a Voron part, so you want to use 0.4 nozzles with it. That one, I've got a bunch of boxes in front of it on the floor. Yeah, Obsidian. I don't know what's going on with Obsidian. I've got a bunch. They're great. I love them. Have I tried the bamboo slicers before? I have not, and I'm going to try that with this once I get this built back together. A carrot patch? I don't have room for a carrot patch. That's why I never built one. I don't have room for one. Tungsten carbide? Some people really like tungsten carbide. I run Obsidians for my hardened nozzles, so other than whatever bamboo has in theirs. So since November. I know. I mean, if you went to ERF, you could have bought one from E3D directly. They had a bunch there, but they had an issue with their batch. Because they can't do the DLC internally. You need equipment that they just don't have. It's way too pricey for them to have. So they have to outsource the coating to another company to actually do the process of doing the DLC coating on the nozzles. And the last batch they sent out, the company screwed it up essentially. So it's something that's kind of out of their hands, unfortunately, because it's they can't do it internally. They can't. It's not something that really most companies can really justify doing internally. You need equipment and knowledge and speciality to make it kind of possible. The Diamond Company, a Revo nozzle selling for $100 isn't really worth it. Yeah, the Diamondback nozzles are great. They're also $100. They need to allow. They will, if a company reaches out to them, and yeah, they will. They're open to licensing. What does the DLC do? It's a coating. It's a coating on the nozzle that gives it, it's a diamond-like coating. So I know I have a Revo somewhere. Yeah, oh, there we go. So it's a diamond-like coating. So see how it's like, it's got that black finish on it? It's a diamond-like coating. So basically you impart a microscopic layer on the material that basically makes it as hard as diamonds to a certain depth. So yeah. So it allows you to take a nozzle and coat it with something to make it even harder. And I've been using for a while, and I've noticed no issues. Now, granted, I don't print an absolute boatload of carbon fiber, but what I have used has done nothing to the nozzles. Like, they're still, you know, fresh. Have they decreased the timer? Nope, I haven't seen any firmware updates from them. And with Chinese New Year being like now, I don't expect any updates from them until a month from now, maybe. The coating was coming off in higher humidity on Obsidians or on Nozzle X's, because it's a different coating. The Nozzle X coating is not the same as Obsidian. Obsidian doesn't fall apart when you use a brass brush. You can use a brass brush with Obsidian, as far as I remember. Tease the new firmware, but they still need to put LAN only mode on the P1P. Right now, if you don't have their cloud service goes down, you can't use the P1P over your network, and like it's still no LAN only mode. So it's either, if their cloud service ever goes down with the P1P, you're stuck with SD cards. .4, I don't think I've ever used a .2 nozzle. Tungsten carbide seem. Tungsten carbide, yes, it is a good material for nozzles. Just don't drop it. Okay, what do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Are you almost done? Hurry up. 13 minutes. Bloody hell. 0.15 millimeter. I've never used it. I have 0.25 Revos, but that's about it. ESP32 for LAN Wi-Fi. If you have to rely on that for Wi-Fi on your Bamboo, using an optical sensor, it is not susceptible to temperature, and it's solid state, so there's nothing to break on it. A micro switch eventually wears out, and a micro switch has a spring in it, and when you heat up and when that spring is in different temperature environments, its activation force changes and it can wear out. An optical sensor is simply a beam that gets broken by something, so there's actually nothing physical for it to break, and temperature doesn't affect it. So that's the advantage. Upside down printing with tap. No. In theory, it would work in zero gravity, but upside down, the weight of the tool head would activate it. Won't the optical sensor get affected by ambient light in the room? That is correct. That is why the optical sensor is completely buried in this. So there is no ambient light. It's under all of this. There is no ambient light in here. Well, they're nowhere near enough to, like, it's under this, and then you're gonna have a tool head over it. So it's in the dark. No positron tap. Positron would have to overcome a lot of hurdles before you can put something like this in there. Does the positron even have a bed probe? Or is it all manual? I'm pretty sure it's all manual. The accelerations were pretty much the same. It's an IR probe. Okay, so it does have a probe. So that's good. Is there a version of tap that doesn't use the nozzle to probe? No. That's the point of tap. The point of tap is to use your nozzle to probe, because your nozzle is your nozzle. So now you don't have to stow anything, you don't have to dock anything. You have something that is zero that defeats the point of tap. Can you see hop? Yeah, you can set hop. Like, the point of tap is so that literally the nozzle is reading. So if you wanted to, if you absolutely really wanted to, you could take, you know, where is it? You literally could just go like this, throw a sheet of carbon fiber on there and print right on it. As long as it, you know, okay, stick it down, put some tape on it or something so it doesn't move. But you can literally just throw something on your bed and print on it. Tap will just go boop, boop, boop. Okay, off I go. You know, for those that like printing on glass, you can put a sheet of glass down and use it. Like, the advantage of tap is you are probing the actual surface of the bed with the nozzle itself. So there's no offsets to worry about. There's no twisted rails or anything to worry about. It probes what it probes, exactly where it is. So, don't I have a CF plate? Yep, tall boy. Well, it's not a plate. But tall boy here has a, it's a sticker, but it's a carbon fiber sticker on a flex plate. Tall boy. One day I'll turn you back on. It's been like, I think over a year since I've printed with this machine. The two things I would have printed on it in the past year, I ended up just printing on the V400 instead. Poor tall boy. I know. Problem is, I don't have room to set it up properly. I basically, the only printers I use regularly are the ones on this shelf. Okay, the Trident, the V2, the other V2, and the two bamboos. Those are the machines I use like normally, and they kind of have use cases. That one is anything that I need to print big because it's got a 350 bed. This one has got a 0.6 nozzle, and this has got a 0.4. So these are the two I use interchangeably for like Voron parts or projects or whatever. The bamboo is pretty much anything multicolor that I kind of do not often, but often enough now. And the P1P is my one-off. So if I just need to print something out of a random color of PLA, I use the P1P because it's open air. So that's my PLA printer. This is my multicolored enclosed stuff printer, sometimes carbon fiber. My regular, you know, my everyday printer is the V2 normally, tied with this one. And then that's for big stuff. That's my use cases of what I use my printers for. So that's why I don't use my like V0, because I don't have them set up, but I got the P1P for that kind of stuff. So new shelves and Studio V2. I know, I'm working on it. The shelves that I wanted to get, turns out wouldn't have worked. And they didn't go on sale either. So what do I think of the XL? I think it's going to be a very good printer for those that can justify it. It is not going to be a printer for little Timmy who wants to print what he sees on Reddit or, you know, meme prints. It's not for that. It's a tool changer. It's a completely different beast than an AMS system like this, because this uses one nozzle. A tool changer is completely different. So if you're looking to do anything with multi-material, the AMSs, ERCFAs, MMUs, they're multicolor systems. You really shouldn't be doing multi-material with them because you're using the same nozzle. So you're going to have the issue of cross-contamination. You're wasting a ton of filament on purging, and you can't really easily print materials that have different melting temperatures without making a mess, right? You can't print like, you know, PLA and ABS at the same time, right? Because the nozzle temperatures are vastly different. You got to wait up for heat up, cool down. It just makes it a pain. A tool changer is a completely different beast. They don't care about that. It's just every nozzle is its own thing. So, and you can do fancy stuff like have like one nozzle, one. You want to print something big, but high detail. Cool. You have one nozzle that has a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. Okay, and all it does is walls, and it prints your walls, and every 3 layers you have a nozzle with you have a tool with a 1 millimeter nozzle come in and do the infill every 3 layers, because it could print it so thick and it just lays that infill down every 3 layers, and you can print much quicker on bigger things. There's all kinds of stuff a tool changing system will give you that, you know, a single nozzle setup just can't do, or can't do well. But on the downside of that, it's big and it's expensive. So, is what it is. So, Voron tool changer win. There's a mod if you want to do it, but Vorons aren't really designed to be that kind of printer. Vorons are at-home Ultimakers. Open source at-home Ultimakers is what they originally designed to be. An Ultimaker 2 that you can build at home. Prusa slicer can't slice for mixed nozzle size tools. Can't do it right now. I'm sure internally they've got all kinds of fun stuff they're working on. Production is not testing. 2.4 tool chain. The problem with the 2.4, where are you going to put the tools? You either have to drag the tools along with you on the back, or you'd have to put them like up here on the front. Yeah, it's a different motion system, but that was the original idea of the original Voron 1.0, was a Ultimaker class of machine that you could build at home for cheaper. So Vorons were never meant to be cheap printers. They were meant to take a prosumer machine and make it a at-home machine, and a cheaper at-home machine that you can do yourself, open source. What do you think about belted Z on a 350? A Trident belted Z? Nah, I wouldn't. Trident? You want rails on a Trident, I think. You can, but it's really not what it's meant for. A very complex servo system. Yeah, no. Once you start talking about servo system, it's like, no. I think the XL will, and here's the thing, remember, Prusa with now printed solid, okay, has the education market, has the government market, has the defense market that they have access to in the US. Bamboo will never get those markets. That's Prusa's gonna, I guarantee you, like, okay, I'm putting my tinfoil hat on now, okay, and I'm theory crafting. Prusa knows its days of being the go-to printer are over. It's been over for a while now. The other machines are coming out that are better and cheaper. Where did my chat go? So they know they can't beat at the, they'll never be able to take back the market they're losing right now, okay? But that's not the only market. That's not the only market. This has Wi-Fi that's always on, integrated. This will never be a government contract printer. It's locked down, closed source, requires an internet connection for updates and everything. This is going to be a hard sell to any organization, big business or whatever. XL, large enclosed printer, fully supported. It meets all the ITAR requirements because of, I'm pretty sure it meets ITAR. I can't remember exactly. But like, there are more than one market out there, and they know what they're doing, I think. A 500 V2 possible? No, build a rat rig at that point. Yeah, low end market. Yeah, look at that. I'm assuming their profit margin on the Mini isn't that much. Like, motors were always cost to fix them out. Beds will always cost a fixed amount. Controllers will always cost a fixed amount. There is always going to be a minimal price to building a printer, regardless of how big you build it. So, yeah. Let's sell. Well, here's the thing, Peter. Remember, Bamboo Lab is DJI. It's not DJI, but it's founded by all ex-DJI. And DJI is prohibited by the US military. I'm pretty sure. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure DJI is on the list of like no companies to interact with the US military. So a company that, you know, every print goes through the cloud. Yeah, no. Say build a rat rig for 5. Rat rigs have bigger frames. They're 30-30 frame and they use 9mm belts. Vorons were never meant to be a big printer. They don't scale that well to 500 size. That's why the biggest recommended size is 350. Plus there's the education market. Vorons are very well, or Vorons. Prusa's are very well suited for the education market. They're simple machines. They're easy to, you can fix them. The parts are a common thing. They're off the shelf parts for the most part. You know, a heater is a heater. This, you got to get the heater from them. But yeah, I guarantee you a couple years ago, Prusa realized that their time at their current position in the market is probably coming to an end and they need to start looking elsewhere. And, you know, they acquire printed solid. So now they have access to the US market for businesses, because a lot of businesses, to get like government incentives, they have to buy things that are American. Well, printed solid's American. So printers aren't built there, but they're, you know, you get that little loophole. So it makes sense what they're doing. But, you know, people just look at, oh, fast printer better. You know, not everything has to fit for it. Be the best for everything. Come on. There we go. Also, bamboo. No, not this camera, this camera. Why do you do the purge line at the back? You do a little purge line at the back of your printer all the time. Why do you do it at the back? Do it at the front. Because in the back here, it's unsupported. This one doesn't do it, just this one. Okay, so now I gotta put this in here. Okay, so that goes there. That goes there. That goes there. What time are we at anyways? 1:49. Okay. Remember, I gotta end the stream at 2, so remind me. Dislike that line. Yeah, it's super annoying. Because the lighter? Maybe? I don't know. Software locks you from flying in certain places. Yep. It's DJI. It's Bamboo. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. Like, I fly DJI. The goggles I use for my FPV quadcopters are DJI, okay? But it's with DJI, it's, you know, you want to fly, you got to buy their goggles. You have to buy, yeah, you can buy it from a few different companies, but they are the ones who actually make it. You got to buy their link, their VTX link, either from them directly or units that they sell to companies that they put their name on. You have to buy cameras that they support. It's their ecosystem. Yes, it's an amazing system and it works really good. Okay, it's a digital high definition, low latency FPV system, but it's theirs and they have it all locked down and it's their way or the highway. I fully expect this to be the same. And again, I fly DJI. So just because I expect it to be the same doesn't mean it's like a bad thing. It just, you know, it is what it is. So that goes there. Yeah, that goes there. Okay. So you go there. I need some bolts for this. That one. And this one. Comment out a couple lines. Can you just change it from default? No CW2? No, we're doing the LGX. I like the LGX. I'm sticking with it. Also, I thought I had more hardware on hand. I thought I had a spare LGX kit, a BMG kit. Turns out I did not. So we're sticking with the LGX. Plus, you know, it's already set up for this, so I don't have to do any configuration changes. I'll do CW2 on Trident. Okay, there's that. Now I need a piece of Bowden. There. That needs to stick up 26 millimeters past the top of that. There we go. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to adjust a few things. There we go. There's that. There's that. Okay. Now I need my front face. That goes in here. Am I on a good camera for this? Cool. Go with overhead. How many Revo heaters have I gone through? I've only ever killed 2. I have a feeling I didn't put heat sets in here. Or did I? Yeah, I did. I did. So I've killed 2 Revo heaters, okay? One of them was a beta unit. It was a beta unit. There was no issues with the betas. I got like over half a year out of it, but I finally killed it. And it was a thermistor fail eventually that did it in. And then I also, so when you're stripping wires and you got your wire strippers and you cut the wire, you get the wire you're going to strip and you go like that, make sure that you don't catch a random thermistor wire in the spring. And when you do that, and rip it right out of the Revo, because that will also kill the Revo. Ask me how I know. So those are the 2 Revos I've killed. So got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Cool. Hey, look, I got it done though. No, I need a longer wire, a longer screw. There we go. I only had to do the dance like a monkey for a couple minutes to get distract people. Do I not have anything for that to screw in there? I've got to have a screw in there. There's got to be something in there. Like, how long does this screw need to be? One second here. Oh, I forgot to put a heat set in. That's what I did. I forgot heat sets. I'm like, why is this not screwing into anything? And it's like, oh, I didn't put the heat sets in for it to screw into something. Yeah, that'll do it. There we go. That'll do it. So you got, like, I don't know, we're gonna basically just slap this together and then we're gonna call it. So you got until then to enter. So do this now. What hand screwdriver are you using? I don't know. I use a LTT store screwdriver, and then I've got these random ones that Fabrico gave me at Murph. Hit the like button too. Yeah, do that. Okay. Do I want to do the fancy cover? I'm going to do the fancy cover. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do the fancy cover. Download. Okay, so while that's like I'm waiting on that to heat up. So I've got this one, but I'm also going to print this one because I don't know which one will work better. So I'm just going to print both and call it a day. And whatever one happens to work the best, we'll use. So slice. Oh, I gotta change material objects. Oh. To 4. There we go. That's purple. There we go. Slice. Print. See, this is annoying. You can't like save this. You have to select whatever it defaults to everything, and you can't just save it unless I'm missing something. But it would be super nice if you could just change the default settings. I will say the installation of this is actually, this has been a super, like, other than me having to kill time for like 40 minutes there because I didn't have the proper thing printed up. This has been a super simple install. Like, not gonna lie, this was a lot simpler than I thought it would be. I can't lose these. These are the only 50 mils I got left. Okay, so I don't think these might be too long now. Yeah, these are too long. Yeah, I really like how this purple came out too. Ooh. Okay, the resin might have weakened a little bit because I heard cracking when tightening the screw, and it used to not do that. Okay, what are we at right now? 2 o'clock. Okay, we're gonna call it. Tappy tap 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 tap. Okay, cool. Zombie Hedgehog 199. Cheers. Okay, so if you have not entered, you'll have another chance Friday. So close that. Great. Wheel of names. Okay, so there we go. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. Josh jumped the gun and put 3. So give me a number between 1 and 3. Give me a number between 1 and 3. 0. That's not between 1 and 3. 2. Okay, 2 works. 1, 2. Let's spin this. So when you win, and you will win, you'll get an email from me after the stream ends. You gotta fill a little form, get your filament, couple days to a couple weeks, depending on where you live in the world. Bruno! Congratulations, Bruno. Let me, oh. Did I close the sheet? I did. Let me open it back up. Where are you at, Bruno? Where are you at, Bruno? Oh, there you are. There you are, Bruno. Okay. Congratulations, Bruno. You'll get an email from me after the stream ends. And yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna end it there. Next stream, Friday, we will wrap this up. I normally like to do print and chill on Friday, but this is close enough that I think we can get this easily printing before the stream ends, and then we'll do some printing on Friday. So I'm gonna call it there. Shout out to everyone who donated to the channel, gifted memberships to others, or became members of the channel yourself. I would not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create. Without what stupid snake? What? Why are you saying no? Don't spam chat. Also, shout out to Polymaker for the spool of filament that we give away. We give away a spool of filament every stream. If you want to help support the channel, content I create, there's also links in the description as well. Go buy some filament for Polymaker or any of the other affiliates. Doesn't cost you anything extra. Goes a long way in supporting the channel. Software on Friday. Yeah, we're gonna finish wiring this up. I might do it off stream. We'll see. It's just plugging it back together. You don't need to see that. And we'll go do the config. The config apparently is super shit simple, so it shouldn't be too bad. So I'm gonna call it there. I gotta go pick up the little guy at school. It's Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you Friday. Cheers. Bye.